Ram Ram Ram.
Ram Ram Mahodaya.
गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो शारदा शारदाम्बोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात् हयग्रीव हयग्रीव हयग्रीवेति यो वदेत् तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जह्नुकन्या प्रवाहवत् असाध्य साधक स्वामिन् असाध्यं तव किं वद रामदूत दया सिन्धो मत्कार्यं साधय प्रभो. Ram Ram Ram. Welcome to all of you for today's class of Learn to Chant Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram. Just as a recap, this is our fourth class. In the first two classes, we learned some little bit of introduction on the class. How do we join? How do we learn, etc. What are the timings? What is the format of the class, etc. And in the last class, in the last two classes, we learned about 12 shlokas in the introductory. We learned about 12 shlokas. So what we will do today is, just as a reminder, when we go, what we do today is we will recap the 12 shlokas that we learned in the last two classes and then quickly move on to, as I guess we had spoken about it in last class and also the previous class, the pronunciation tips. So we will cover pronunciation tips after we cover the 12 shlokas, recap the 12 shlokas that we have done. That is what we will do for today's class. So please pay attention while we are covering the pronunciation tips. While there will be things on the screen, if you want to make some notes, feel free to kind of grab a paper and a pen so that you can make some notes, etc. Because these things might not be in the slide that we will share here. Some of the things, few things could be also on there. So yes, if you want to kind of make some notes, feel free to kind of pick a notebook or a pen so that you can make some notes. Meantime, we'll also do the recap of the shlokas that we have learned in last two classes. Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye.
Sir, Shuklambaradharam or Narayanam?
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye.
Vyasam Vasishthanaptaram Shakteh Pautramakalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Shukatatantaponidhim.
Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः।
Ishani.
अविकाराय शुद्धाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे
यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण जन्म संसारबन्धनात् विमुच्यते नमस्तस्मै विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे। ॐ नमो विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे। शिवानी।
श्रीवैशम्पायन उवाच श्रुत्वा धर्मानशेषेण पावनानि च सर्वशः युधिष्ठिरः शान्तनवम् पुनरेवाभ्यभाषत।
ईशानी।
श्रीयुधिष्ठिर उवाच किमेकं दैवतल्लोके किंवाप्येकं परायणं स्तुवन्तः कं कमर्चन्तः प्राप्नुयुर्मानवाः शुभम्।
को धर्मः सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः किंजपन्मुच्यते जन्तुः जन्म संसारबन्धनात्।
श्रीभीष्म उवाच जगत्प्रभुं देवदेवम् अनन्तं पुरुषोत्तमम् स्तुवन्नाम सहस्रेण पुरुषः सततोत्थितः।
तमेव चार्चयन् नित्यं भक्त्या पुरुषमव्ययम् ध्यायन् स्तुवन् नमस्यंश्च यजमानस्तमेव च।
अनादिनिधनं विष्णुं सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं लोकाध्यक्षं स्तुवन्नित्यं सर्वदुःखातिगो भवेत्. I guess we had not learned from the shloka. Maybe we have maybe 5 more minutes. We'll learn 2 shlokas before we go to the pronunciation tips. Shivani. ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं
ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं
लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम्
लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम् लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम्
लोकनाथं महद्भूतम्
लोकनाथं महद्भूतम् लोकनाथं महद्भूतम्
सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम्
सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम् सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम्
ब्रह्मण्यम b and ra, there are 2 letters there. Bra mha ma ha and ma. Brahmanyam, half na and ya followed by anusvara. Brahmanyam sarva dharmajnam, dha mahaprana, dharmajnam. Lokanam, ka is dirgha, na is also dirgha, followed by anusvara. Lokanam kirti vardhanam, dha is mahaprana. Since anuswara is followed by ka, it will be lokanang kirti vardhanam. That's how it is pronounced. Lokanang kirti vardhanam. In the second line, lokanatham, tha mahaprana, mahadbhutam, bha mahaprana, and it is ukara, mahadbhutam, mahadbhutam, sarva bhuta bhavodbhavam. All bha are mahaprana. Bhuta, bhava, bhavam. Sarva bhuta bhavodbhavam. We'll keep all this in mind while chanting the shloka. Brahmanyam sarvadharmagnyam lokanam kirtivardhanam.
ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम् ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम्
लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम्.
लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम् लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम्
ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम् लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम्.
ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम् लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम् ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम् लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम्.
ईशानी एष मे सर्वधर्माणां
एष मे सर्वधर्माणाम् एष मे सर्वधर्माणां
धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः.
धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः
यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षम्
यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं
स्तवैरर्चेन्नरः सदा.
स्तवैरच्चेन्नरः सदा स्तवैरच्चेन्नरः सदा
एष मे, this is shakara, sh. एष मे सर्वधर्माणां, ध महाप्राणा, धर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः. ध in both the places is mahaprana. धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः. यद्भक्त्या, bha again mahaprana, bhaktya, ka and ta, bhaktya pundarikaksham stavairarchen sada. If you see here, there is half sa followed by full sa, hence it is sada. Narasada, stavairarchen narasada, cha and refa. Stavai, why this is stavairarchen narasada. We'll keep all this in mind while chanting the shloka. एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः.
एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः
यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवैरर्चेन्नरः सदा.
यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवैरच्चेन्नरः सदा यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवैरच्चेन्नरः सदा
एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं तवैरर्चेन्नरः सदा।
एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवैरच्चेन्नरः सदा। एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवैरच्चेन्नरः सदा.
We'll stop here for today in terms of the new shloka. I will stop sharing. Now I invite Sandhya Mahabhaga to talk about the pronunciation tips. I have invited Sandhya to talk to us about the pronunciation tips. She has been doing this in Lalita Sahasranama very effectively. A lot of people who have appreciated and coming back with many questions also because they want to clarify many times. So I've requested Sandhya to take us through the pronunciation tips. We will go through the pronunciation tips with examples. Please pay attention if required, maybe make notes. And then you, of course, as always, this will be this is recorded and this will be uploaded in YouTube for any future reference. You will be able to refer back and also learn to chant the shlokas with right pronunciation. Sandhya.
Dhanyavada. So, namaskaram and pranams to everyone. A warm welcome from my side to this session about the pronunciation tips. Before we start, let us chant, let us do the mangalam. Guru Reva Gate Guru Meva Bhaje Guru Naiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave Na Guru Paramam Shishurasmi Guru Matirasti Gurau Mama Pahi Guru. So, pronunciation tips. This is what we intend to cover today. We will speak about the Varnamala chart, the classification. In that specifically, we'll focus on Hrasva Swaraha, short vowels, and Dirgha Swaraha, long vowels. Consonants, Visarga, Anusvara, Alpaprana and Mahaprana, and Anunasika letters, and the differentiation between Sa, Sha, and Sha, and also Samyuktaksharani, which are compound letters. So at a high level, this is what we are going to cover in today's pronunciation tips part. It's very important for any language to have a correct pronunciation because correct pronunciation communicates the intended meaning and also gives the intended result or impact. So why it is important to know, like I said earlier, even a small change in pronunciation can change the meaning of the word or the verse or the intention, the impact completely. So it's very important for us to focus on how we pronounce the letters, where we need to put less effort, where we need to put more efforts, where the letters are prolonged and where the letters are short. And sometimes there could be sandhi, the joining of words happening. So where to split a word. And there are specific rules also which we follow in pronunciation. So even like I said, a small change in pronunciation can change the meaning very differently. So I've just listed a few examples as you see here on the screen. Phalam, as we all know in Sanskrit, means fruit. But if I replace this pa with pa, which is pronounced with less effort, it becomes palam, which means meat. Similarly, like we have Balachandraha, where it is ba, which is pronounced with less effort, which means young moon. Whereas if I put more effort in pronouncing this ba, which is bha, Balachandraha, it becomes Shiva. Similarly, Shiva is a ending with a hrasva, short vowel. We are not prolonging, which means Shiva Shankara. If I prolong the last letter here, Shiva, it becomes Devi. So the meaning of the word can change very differently with the way we pronounce the letters or the words. So that is why it is very important for us to focus on the basic pronunciation aspects, specifically when we learn any stotram, shlokas, mantras, etc. This is a Varnamala chart. You might have seen this if you are attending other chanting courses in Vyoma. So basically this displays the classification of the Varnas, Varnamala, into different categories. In this, we will focus today primarily on Swaraha, Ayogavaha, and Vyanjanani. If you look at the top level, it is classified into Swaraha, Ayogavaha, Vyanjanani, and Yamaha. Currently, we will not touch upon the Yamaha, which is generally used in Vedic chanting, etc. So, we will focus on Swaraha, that is vowels, Ayogavaha, and then the Vyanjanani, which are the consonants. So Swaraha is again divided into three classifications: Hrasvaha, Dirghaha, and Plutaha. And we will be covering Hrasvaha and Dirghaha, which is very relevant to the Sahasranama that you are learning currently. And Ayogavaha, we will cover all the four classifications, that is Anusvaraha, Visargaha, Jivhamuliyaha, and Upadhamaniyaha. Vyanjanani is further divided into Vargiya Vyanjanani and Avargiya Vyanjanani. Varga means group, Avarga means which is not in a group. So we will cover this. So these are the basic classifications, and of course we will also touch upon the letters where you need to put more stress and less stress, and we'll also cover some basic rules related to all this. So let us move further. Swaraha, the first classification what we saw was Swaraha. Swaraha means vowels. So Swaraha, why they are called as Swaraha? Swayam Rajante iti Swaraha. They shine by themselves, or they are pronounced independently. They can be pronounced independently. That is why they are called as Swaraha. So generally, we consider a, I, U, R, L, E, I, O, Au as Swaraha vowels. And how do we classify them as short vowels and long vowels? Short vowels meaning Hrasvaswaraha, long vowels meaning Dirghaswaraha. So when we pronounce the vowel, we take some time, right? That is measured as matra kala, which is the time taken to blink our eyelid once. So if you look at the verse given here, Ekamatro bhavet hrasvaha, dvimatro dirgha uchyate, trimatrastu plutogneyaha, vyanjanantu ardhamatrakam. So the time taken to pronounce a short vowel, which is a hrasvaswara, is 1 matra kala, and the time taken to pronounce a long vowel, which is a dirghaswara, is 2 matra kalas. And Plutaha, the third classification which we saw in the Varnamala chart, that will take 3 matra kalas. And Vyanjanam, which is the consonants like Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Cha, Cha, these take half matra kala because we pronounce them as K, G, Ch, Th. Okay. So this tells us the time taken to pronounce each of these and how that is a blinking of our eyelid once. Some people use, the clapping of hands or two things. Like for example, when we pronounce a 2 times. So that is also a way where you can check whether you're taking the correct time to pronounce the letters. So what do we understand here? We are focusing on 2 classifications. One is Hrasvaswaraha, second is Dirghaswaraha, short vowels and long vowels. Short vowels take 1 matra kala to pronounce. Long vowels, Dirghaswaraha, take 2 matra kalas to pronounce. So which are these short vowels and long vowels? You can see here, A, I, U, R, and L. These are short vowels. Hrasvaswaraha, which take 1 matra kala. We have Dirghaswaraha, which takes 2 matra kalas, which is A, I, U, R, E, I, O, and Au. So this is a very important, very basic classification because we'll be coming across this in any shloka, any stotram that you learn. So this is about the swaras. Now let us look at some examples for this hrasvaswaraha and dirghaswaraha. So we have taken an example from Vishnu Sahasranama itself. Putatma paramatma cha muktanam paramagatihi. So here if you see ta t plus a dirgha, this is a long vowel here. Ta is a dirgha. Again putatma, ma is a long where you prolong it. Ma plus a, ma. Paramatma. So if you look at pa and ra, pa plus a is pa, which is short vowel here. And where you see ma, again it is a long one, dirgha. If you take cha, ch plus a is a short vowel. So you have a consonant ch plus a. So here we are using a short vowel cha. Whereas in muktanam dirgha, that is long, mukta dirgha, muktanam dirgha, again parama dirgha, gatihi, here we have a short vowel e. If let me come back to the previous slide and show this. So a, e, u, r and lu. These are short vowels and the rest of them in the swaras are the long vowels. So now you can understand why is gatihi in gatihi where the e swara is there. This is a short vowel. And whereas if you look at sakshi, there is a dirgha swara, long vowel. Whereas if you again come to kshetragno kshara, eva and cha, ra, va and cha, which are highlighted in green, they're all having short vowels, hrasvaswaraha, along with the consonants. So this is the way we distinguish between the short vowels and long vowels. If you have any questions, please put it on the chat window. We will try to address as much as possible at the end of the class. Next comes the vyanjanani. Vyanjanani is nothing but consonants. So in the regional languages, you might have already come across some of these concepts. More or less it will be same, but there could be difference because of the language. So vyanjanani, consonants, like I highlighted earlier, vyanjanantu ardha matrakam, half matra kala. That is because it is chanted as k, k, g, g. This is the way. So in this, we have classified this into Vargiya Vyanjanani and Avargiya Vyanjanani. Vargiya Vyanjanani means which is falling in the Vargas, 5 Vargas, the groups. Kavarga, Chavarga, Tavarga, Tavarga and Pavarga. Avargiya Vyanjanani means which is not in any of these Vargas, these 5 Vargas, this Pancha Vargas, it is not present. It is standing separately. This is Avargiya Vyanjanani. So, ya, ra, la, va, sha, saha. These are Avargiya Vyanjanani, which are 8 in number, whereas the Vargiya Vyanjanani are 25 in number. And then we have the Anunasika Aksharas. Anunasikas are nothing but the nasal consonant pronounced with the help of the nose. And generally, the 5th letter of the each Varga. If you see, the 5th letter of Kavarga, 5th letter of Chavarga, Tavarga, Tavarga and Pavarga. These are all the Anunasikas. K, K, G, G, N, Ch, Ch, J, J, N, T, T, D, D, N, T, T, D, D, N, P, P, B, B, M. So these are the Vargiya Vyanjanani. In Avargiya Vyanjanani, we have Ya, Ra, La, Va, Sha, Sha, Sa, Ha. So these are the first 2 classifications, that is Swaraha, and then we have the Vyanjanaha. Now you may have a question. So if you let us look at the verse given here in this slide itself. Ka is there, eka matro, in eka. How is this ka? Is this a vyanjana, or is this the swara, or is this the complete akshara, purna akshara? So generally, like for eka in this, for the ka, k plus a is ka. Ma, m plus a is ma. So vyanjanam plus swaraha will become gunitaksharam. So in this example, if you see Ramaha, r plus a is ra, m plus aha is maha. Ramaha. So this is how the split happens. So Vyanjana plus Swaraha. Let us look at some examples and then again come back to this. So we were talking about the Anunasika. So let us look at the example for Anunasika. Now you can see few letters highlighted in yellow in this verse. Vanamali, Gadi, Sharngi, Shankhi, Chakri, Chanandaki, Shriman Narayano, Vishnur Vasudevo Bhirakshatu. Vanamali, na, the highlighted letter is a nasal letter, which is the Anunasika, which comes in Tavarga. Th, na. Gadi, Sharngi. This is the fifth letter of Kavarga. Again, we have Narayana, na, which is the fifth letter of Tavarga. If you look at the below verse, we have Dhananjayaha here. In this, we have Dhananjayaha, which is the highlighted letter which I'm pointing to. This is the fifth letter of Chavarga. So the fifth letters of the Vargeya Vyanjanani or the Anunasika letters. Shivani, can you please read the Vargeya Vyanjanani and Avargeya Vyanjanani slowly?
H, G, G, N, Ch, Ch, J, J, N, T, Th, D, D, N, T, Th, D, D, N, P, P, B, B, M, Y, R, L, V, Sh, Sh, S, H.
Can you read only the nasal letters? Anunasikaha.
Ng, Ny, N, N, M.
Dhanyavadaha. So, this is the way we distinguish between the Vargeya Vyanjanani and Avargeya Vyanjanani and also the nasal letters, which are the fifth letters. Why these nasal letters are important? Because there are rules associated also with this. So, we will come to that little later. Now, let us move to the next part. Ayoga Vahaha, with the one which you saw as the next classification in the Varnamala chart. So in this we have Anusvaraha, Visargaha and Jivhamuliyaha and Upadhmaniyaha, which are four things. So Anusvaraha, Visargaha, Jivhamuliyaha and Upadhmaniyaha. So as you see, the symbols are given next to this. Anusvaraha, the dot, there is a bindu on top, right? So this is a dot. This is Anusvaraha, kam, im. So there is a bindu, a dot on the top of the letter. Visargaha, you see two bindus next to the letter, which is aha, or for example, pikaha, ramaha. So there are two dots, which is called as the visarga, visargaha. Then jivhamuliyaha and upadhmaniyaha. These are the symbols for jivhamuliya and upadhmaniya. How we use this, where we use this, I will cover in the upcoming slides. Now, coming to Anusvaraha, like I said earlier, the dot above the letter is Anusvaraha, which is pronounced as Swaram anuprayujyate iti Anusvaraha. Anusvara comes with the vowels. For example, im, and it is used in different contexts. For example, now let us look at the below verse, the mangalam verse which we did. Nagurov paramam shishurasmi guroho. And we have Nagurov paramam shishurasmi guroho. When you look at this, you see a slight difference in the way the script is written, isn't it? So you have a bindu on the top and you have a m here. Generally in the script, in the Devanagari script, you might see this difference and you might get a doubt. So Nagurov paramam shishurasmi guroho. Why is it dot here and why is it m here? So whenever the Anusvara is followed by a consonant, Anusvara is followed by a consonant, then we put the dot on the top of the letter. That is like, for example, paramam, you see the dot. And then after ma, after this anuswara, what do we have? Sha. Sha is a consonant. Yara, lava, sha, the fifth letter of avargiya vyanjana. So we are putting a dot here. Now, if I write this as Naguroho Paramam Shishurasmi, I have written ma, and there is also a consonant here. This is not the correct representation. This is the correct representation. Now, if you look at the last sentence here, Aham Atra Asmi. So here we have ma, and I have a swara a here. So whenever there is a swara, then we use the ma in the previous word. Aham atra asmi. You can ask me, why is it not a dot on the top and it is the ma letter here? Then the answer is because the following word, the first letter in the following word is a swara and not a vyanjana. So in the script, this is how you will see. So do not get confused when you see paramam, a dot and shishurasmi, and somewhere you have a swara in the next letter and you see ma. It's aham atra asmi. So this is the way anuswara is represented. And like I said earlier, anuswara, swaram anuprayujyate iti anuswaraha. It is the dot which is on the top of the letter. Now, with respect to anuswara, there is a very important rule that we follow. It is an optional rule, but however, in the interest of best practice, we follow this Varga Panchama rule. We call it as Varga Panchama, the anuswara rule. While I say it is an optional one, if you are going to follow this rule, then you follow this for the entire. If you're learning Vishnu Sahasranama or Lalita Sahasranama or Ganesha Sahasranama, everything, follow this for the entire Sahasranama. The same rule. Don't use Varga Panchama in one place and don't change the rule in the other place. So what is this Varga Panchama? Varga Panchama here means when a anuswara is followed by any Vargiya Vyanjana, please note, observe, it's Vargiya Vyanjana. So when an anuswara is followed by a Vargiya Vyanjana, the anuswara gets replaced by the fifth letter of the corresponding Varga. I'll repeat, whenever anuswara is followed by Vargiya Vyanjana, what are Vargiya Vyanjanas? Kavarga, Chavarga, Tavarga, Tavarga, and Pavarga, which we saw under consonants. In that case, that is when anuswara is followed. Next, after anuswara, you have the consonant, that is the Vargiya Vyanjana. Then the anuswara get replaced by the fifth letter of that particular Varga. Let us look at the example here. So here we have Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam. So I'm chanting the anuswara here. Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam. So let us say I follow the Varga Panchama and I have the anuswara and the Vargiya Vyanjana here. I'll be pronouncing this as Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam. Let us look at the next example. Prasannavadanam dhyayet. It is also correct. Here we have anuswara and dha. Dha is the Vargiya Vyanjana which comes in Tavarga. So what happens here? The anuswara gets replaced by the fifth letter of the Tavarga. Prasannavadanam dhyayet. Prasannavadanam dhyayet. Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam. So the anuswara get replaced by the fifth letter of that particular Varga. In this case, in case of Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam, it gets replaced by the fifth letter of Chavarga. In case of Prasannavadanam Dhyayet, it gets replaced by the fifth letter of Tavarga. So this is called as the Varga Panchama rule, which is with respect to the anuswara. Shivani, can you chant this entire verse, keeping in mind this Varga Panchama rule?
शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये. Ma'am, you are on mute, ma'am.
Yeah, Dhanyavada, Kshamyatam. So we have we have Anusvara and when ya and va with respect to ya and va pronunciation. So as you see in this particular verse, we have Paramam yo mahattejaha, Paramam yo mahattapaha. So what do we have here? We have Anuswara and then we have Ya, which is an Avargiya Vyanjana. So in this case, the pronunciation will be changing. We don't call it as Varga Panchama, but this is also a Anuswara related pronunciation rule. Similarly, when you see Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum, you have Anuswara, which is a dot on top of Ra, as you see, and then we have Va, right? So even in this case, the pronunciation will be different. Shivani, can you chant this?
Paramayyo mahattejaha, Paramayyo mahattapaha, Paramayyo mahadbrahma, Paramayyah parayanam, Shuklambaradharam Vishnum, Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam, Prasannavadanam Dhyayet, Sarvavighnopashantaye.
Dhanyavadaha. Hope it is clear. So we learned two rules with respect to Anuswara. One is Varga Panchama. The second one is when Anuswara is followed by the Avargiya Vyanjana, Ya or Va. So let us look at the next part. Visargaha. Visargaha, we all know it's a two vertical dots which is seen after the letter like aha, ihi, uhu. So generally when you pronounce, it takes the pronunciation of the last most letter, as in harihi. If you take, we have ikara here, right? So ihi. In guruhu, u is there, so guruhu, uhu. Harehe, ye, so harehe, ehe. So it takes the pronunciation of the last most letter. So these are the two dots in front of the letter. Visargaha, we call it as. Now, when we pronounce this, like for example, here you see, Mahidharo Mahabhago Vegavanamita Naha Visarga. Similarly, Samavarto Nivrittatma Durjayo Duratikramaha Visarga. So there is a difference between Visarga and the Ha. Ha is a consonant which is part of Avargiya Vyanjana, and Visarga is a Ayogavaha, which you are seeing, which is represented by two dots. Shivani, please chant both the verses.
Viksharo rohito margo, Heturdamodarasaha, Mahidharo mahabhago, Vegavanamitashanah, Samavarto nivrittatma, Durjayo duratikramaha, Durlabho durgamo durgo, Duravaso durariha.
Uttamam, dhanyavadaha. Let's go to the next part. Jivha Muliyaha and Upadhmaniyaha. So if you remember, under Ayogavaha, I had listed four things: Anuswaraha, Visargaha, and Jivha Muliyaha and Upadhmaniyaha. So when this is also related to Visarga rule. So when a Visarga is succeeded by Ka or Kha. So as in, if you see, Kamaha, Kamakrit, Kantaha, Kamaha, Kamapradah, Pradah, Prabhuhu. So we have a Visarga, and after that we have Ka. This is applicable only when there is Ka or Kha, the Jivha Mulya. Okay. So in this scenario, it is replaced by a Jivha Mulya, which means you Kamaha, Kamakrit, Kantah, Kamah, Kamapradah, Prabhuhu. So this is Jivha Mulya. When a Visarga is succeeded by Pa or Pa, Pa or Pa, then it is a upadhmaniya. So in this case, bhuta bhavya bhavannathah pavanah pavano nalaha. So these are two Visarga related aspects. In Visarga is succeeded by ka or kha, it is jivha muliyaha. And when Visarga is followed by pa or pha, it is upadhmaniyaha. Shivani, please chant this with focus on these two.
भूतभव्य भवन्नाथः पवनः पावनो नलः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामः कामप्रदः प्रभुः.
Right. So what you have to notice here is we do not chant the complete Visarga here in both the cases. So these are Jivhamuliya and Upadmaniya. Now, when a Visarga is followed by sa, sha, sha. So in that case also the pronunciation is slightly different. As in, if you look at this example, Namaha and we have Samasta. So when we chant sa, which is after a Visarga, Namas Samasta Bhutanam. So we do not say Namaha Samasta. No, we chant it as Namas Samasta Bhutanam Adi Bhutaya Bhubrute. So whenever a Visarga and then we have sa, this is the way we follow. Same thing applies to when we have sha or sha. So you will find more examples of this when you are chanting learning the Sahasranama. Let us look at the next one. This is important. When a Visarga is succeeded by or after a Visarga, if there is a letter ksha, okay, then the complete Visarga to be pronounced, unlike sa, sha and sha. So here we are talking about ksha, as in kshami. So Visargaha plus ksha. In this case, we chant the complete Visarga. Samadukha sukhaha kshami. If you look at this particular verse, Nakshatrane mir nakshatri kshamaha kshamassamihanaha. Can you make out the difference? In this case, I chanted the complete Visarga. Kshamaha kshamassamihanaha. So Visarga and ksha. So I'm chanting the complete Visarga here. But whereas in this kshamaha samihanaha, the Visarga followed by sa, we are not chanting the complete Visarga in this case. So this is with respect to Visarga followed by ksha. Shivani, please chant this complete verse from Anirvinda.
अनिर्विण्णस्थविष्ठो भूर्धर्मयूपो महामखः नक्षत्रनेमिर्नक्षत्री क्षमः क्षामः समीहनः.
Let us move to the next one. Very important, and your teacher will be stressing on this in every class. So it's the most important for you to focus on. Alpapranaha and Mahapranaksharas. So Alpaprana means which are pronounced with less effort, less a or less prana, however we call it as. So these are Alpapranas. We call them as less effort or low effort letters. Mahapranaha means where we put little more effort to pronounce Mahapranaksharas, or more air, it takes more prana. So it's Mahapranaksharas or high effort letters. So which are these letters? In Vargiya Vyanjanani, the second and fourth letter of each Varga is Mahapranakshara. The first, third and fifth letters are all Alpapranaksharas. And in Avargiya Vyanjanani, the first four are Alpaprana and the last four are Mahapranaksharas. So like let's take the Kavarga example. K is a Mahaprana, whereas the first letter K is an Alpaprana. I put less effort to pronounce K. K, G, Ch, J, T, D, T, B. These are all with less effort. Whereas Mahapranaksharas, we put more effort. K, G, Ch, T, T, P, B, Sh, Sh, S, H. So one way, to practice, few people follow this technique to practice. For example, can have a paper in front of you and, ka, ka, you can see the paper moving, g, g. So that's how we understand. Less effort and more effort if you want to practice. It's always good to have the script with you and mark, the one of the things that we used to do when we learn is, whenever they, have a pencil, and we have the script, we used to mark the Mahaprana. So we get accustomed to chanting it always. We do not miss it. So you can follow that. Anyway, I think your teacher will be highlighting the Mahaprana during the class also. Shivani, please read out both the Vargiya and Avargiya Vyanjanani slowly.
Ka, pa, ga, gha, nga. Cha, cha, ja, jha, nya. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. Pa, pa, ba, bha, ma. Y, r, l, v, sh, sh, sa, ha.
Dhanyavadaha. Then we move to the example. We are looking at a specific example from Vishnu Sahasranama. Now, let us try to identify the Alpaprana and Mahaprana aksharas. I'll not highlight every letter. I'll just take few letters which are taken, put in different colors here. In Shuklam Baradharam, you know that Ba is an Alpaprana. Dha is a Mahaprana, which is highlighted in yellow. If you look at Chaturbhujam, Cha is an Alpaprana, Bha is a Mahaprana. Look at Prasanna Vadanam, Da is an Alpaprana, Dhyayet, Dha is a Mahaprana. Sarva Vignopa, Gha is a Mahaprana Akshara. In Shantaye, Ta is an Alpaprana Akshara. Generally, we do not highlight these Yara, Lavan, Shasha, Saha. We do not tell you the distinction like these are Alpaprana, Mahaprana, because those are easy to remember and as you pronounce. But otherwise, when it comes to the Vargiya Vyanjanani, we keep highlighting in the class also. So this is the Alpaprana and Mahaprana. It's very important, and I'm sure your teacher will be highlighting this in every class. Now comes the rules apply with respect to Sa, Sha and Sha. It's not the rules, it is basically the way we pronounce Sa, Sha and Sha. Some of the regional languages, we tend to mix up these letters. However, when we are chanting the Stotrams verses, it is very important for us to chant it as it is, like, Sa, Sha and Sha. Sa is a, like, Sarvashaha. In this case, in the first line, the last word, Sarvashaha is a Sa. Whereas the last letter is a Sha, as in Shankara, Shiva. So the Sha here, which we call it as Talavya Sha, as in Shiva. And if you look at Dharmana Sheshena, so Sha, the first one, the yellow one is a Talavya Sha. The next one is a Sha, Murdhanya Sha, which is as in Shanmukha. So the Sha which we use for Shanmukha. Whereas the first one, the Talavya, is a Sha which we use for Shiva, Shankara, Sheshena, Shanta. But this other one which you see in highlighted in green is a Murdhanya, which is a Sha. It's basically, the place of origin of these letters will be different. That is how we call as Talavya, Murdhanya, etc. And of course, Sa, we pronounce it differently. So whenever you are chanting a verse, you have to note down this difference. So many a times it happens, we mix up this Sa and Sha and Sha. So please give good listening to this. Then we have the Samyuktakshara, very important compound letters. What are Samyuktaksharas? Where you have multiple Vyanjanas, that is Vyanjana and Vyanjanakshara. The joining of two Vyanjanaksharas will make it a compound letter, that is Samyuktakshara. Compound letter Samyuktaksharani. So in this case, let us look at, if you just look at the first letter Sha, it is Sha plus Ukara, right? It is Vyanjana plus Swara, Sha plus U. It is a Gunitakshara. But when you look at the next part, that is Shukla, Kla, this is a Samyuktakshara. Why? You have multiple consonants, that is Vyanjanani here. We have K, we have L. So K plus L plus A is Shukla, Kla here. This is a Samyuktakshara. Now look at the third part of this, that is Shuklamba. Shuklambaradharam. In this M and B, we have M, B and A, which is again a Samyuktakshara. Let us look at the second one, Vishnum, Sha, that is Murdhanya Sha, and we have N and U, and then we have Anusvara. So Sh plus N plus U, and we have the Anusvara here, Vishnum, which is again a Samyuktakshara. Again, if you look at Chaturbhujam, B plus R plus U, Chaturbhujam. Prasanna, N plus A, Prasanna. This is also a Samyuktakshara, though it is double Na here. Prasanna, N plus A is Prasanna. Dhyayet, D plus Y plus A, Dirgha. So, Dhyayet. Sarva Vignopa, G and N and Okara. So, Vignopa. Shantaye. In Shantaye, if you see, it is Sha is only a Gunitakshara. Sha plus A, Swara, the consonant plus Swara. Whereas in here, N plus Ta plus A. Shantaye. Ta. So this is a Samyuktakshara. The ones which you are seeing in highlight, that is yellow highlight here, are all Samyuktaksharas. So this is about the compound letters or the Samyuktaksharani. So why is it that it is important? So like I was telling you at the start of the session, even a small letter, even a bindu also can change, the bindu, a dot also can change the meaning of the letter, like Chinta and Chita, or Shiva and Shiva, Phalam and Palam. So the meaning can change with a difference in just a Dirgha, Hasva, Bindu, etc. or Alpaprana and Mahaprana. So there is a, this is something which is a very popular verse. Yadyapi bahunadhishe tathapi pathaputra vyakaranam swajanah ma bhut sakalam shakalang sakrit. What it means is, even if you do not read too many subjects, too much of grammar, etc., please follow basic pronunciation rules, because you should not pronounce, for example, Svajanaha means relatives. If you pronounce the sa as sha, then it will become a pack of dogs. If sakalam means sa, you are using sa here, it is totally, completely, entirely. But if you replace sa with sha, it will become a part, piece or fragment. Sakrit, sa is there. Sakrit means at once. Whereas if you pronounce this incorrectly as sha, it will become cowdung. Sakrut, shakrut. So this is just a verse to highlight the importance of pronunciation. For a little more details on pronunciation tips, there is a YouTube link provided here. You can follow this. This is done by our Srimati Saumya Krishnapur Bhagini, who's a very well-known scholar in Vyakaranam, where she has detailed different pronunciation tips with more examples, etc. So while, one thing I want to highlight here is, while we covered pronunciation tips, these are at a high level, basic. I know in one class we have covered quite a number of pronunciation tips. Do not be worried. Is there so much for me to remember? How do I follow? Will I be able to learn, etc.? Because if you look at how we have, how our ancestors or how our gurus have all learned, and it's basically by listening and chanting, by repeating. So when you are in class, if you are listening to your teacher carefully, who will also be highlighting most of this, you will be able to catch up on all these pronunciation aspects, even if you are not able to remember things like what is Murdhanya Sha, what is Murdhanya Sha, what is Talavya Sha, etc. But still you will be able to follow the pronunciation just by listening carefully and repeating it along with the teacher. And just reiterating, so all these rules, whatever you learned today, will be highlighted during your class by your teacher, by highlighting on this. There is a Visarga, so there is a Ka, which makes it a Jivha Muliya. This is Alpaprana, this is Mahaprana. So do not worry how much I have so much to remember, etc. So let me quickly look at a few questions. It's time. However, I try to. So there is, let me go back to the first verse. Shivani, you're there?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. Can you please chant the vowels which are given here?
A, I, U, U, R, L, A, I, O, Au.
Let me go to Vyanjanani. Can you chant the complete Vargiya and Avargiya?
Yes, ma'am. K, K, G, G, N, Ch, Ch, J, J, Nya, T, T, D, D, N, T, T, D, D, N, P, P, B, B, M, Y, R, L, V, Sh, S, H.
Yes. So now you see L here, which is an Avargiya Vyanjanani. You also see the L in the Swara here. So this is a vowel and that is a Vyanjana. They are totally two different. This is a Swara, this is a vowel, and what you see here is a Vyanjana. They are different things. Is it okay to chant each word in a pada separately and not to follow Anusvara rule? See, there are many shlokas wherein we would have learnt or you would have learnt without knowing this Anusvara rule, and you would be chanting, for instance, Vyanjanam tu in this, whatever you are seeing in this verse, Trimatrastu plutogneyaha Vyanjanam tu ardhamatrakam. I'm not saying this is wrong. Vyanjanam tu ardhamatrakam. This is correct. However, the best practice is Vyanjanantu. Vyanjanantu, because there is an Anuswara followed by ta, which is a consonant, Vargiya Vyanjana. I'm applying the Varga Panchama here. So this is a best practice rule. So whether you follow the best practice rule or not, you can still follow the raga. It doesn't impact the raga, the tune. Why you're following this rule is to just to benchmark ourselves to, this is the way it is being, it is there is the correct way of pronunciation, and there is a very good practice of pronunciation rule. So that is why we follow this. However, whatever you follow, if you are not following this Anuswara rule, then do the same thing for the entire Sahasranama. If you're following the Anuswara rules, follow the same rule for all the verses. Don't change the rule. So you can follow the raga. It will not make a difference. I hope it clarifies, Anju Bagini. Yes, Anuswara rules are optional. Yes, Aditi Bagini. Yes. Okay. Then we have, right now I will not touch upon the Vibhakti parts, though there are a few questions. I'll tell you why a little later. YouTube link is not active. Yeah, you're actually just seeing on the screen, so it is not active. This, whatever I shared, that is Saumya Bagini's, this slide would probably be put up on your course page, so you can follow it from there. Then we have, PDF will be shared. This slide deck will be shared. So there are a few more questions with respect to Anuswara only. So when you are actually learning the verses, your teacher will highlight it, because in Vishnu Sahasranama specifically, a lot of Anuswara related words you come across, especially like Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum. So with where Va and Ya and Varga Panchama, it's more in fact in Vishnu Sahasranama. So don't worry. You will be able to cover this in detail in the upcoming classes. For now, I would request you to just understand the concept and at the very basic level, what it means and how to pronounce. So with this, we will close the class for today. Shivani, is there a mangalam that you do at the end of the class? Could you please?
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet.
Dhanyavadaha. Ram 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 to everyone. Punarmilamaha. धन्यवादाः शिवानी.
राम 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 राम.